I can't think of a good way to start this video. I usually start with some kind of joke, but I don't have any. It's too warm today. So I'll just get down to business, because my videos usually end up being longer than business. I want to talk today. I don't want to talk today. Restart. So I get a lot of mails. You'd be surprised of how many mails I get from Aspies. I get other mails on other matters, but I get so many Aspie mails that it feels like most of my viewers are Aspies, which makes sense because I make Asperger's videos. But still, the people who send them send me such long and intricate and passionate mails that they're probably just a small percentage of my viewership who have real emotions for it, like passions. And I rarely answer those mails, which is a shame because I want to answer them. I answer some of them, but they're just so long. It's like I want to show one particular one, but I don't want to show, it would be wrong of me to show you other people's mails. But there you go, it's a very, 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 very long email. And I'm not going to answer that because I just don't have the energy. So, one of the reasons why I don't answer them is because I get so many questions that I've already answered. So what I'm going to do is make a kind of frequently asked questions series of videos where I bring up the most pressing matters of the Aspie community. The way I'm going to do this is by one video at a time. I'm just going to take one topic and answer it best I can. And I just want to point out right now that my answers aren't absolute, because I'm actually not trained in Asperger's in any way. And I'm sure you knew that, yet people still ask me questions. So, for my part one thing, the most, not really a question, the most thing that people tell me in emails, the thing that almost all emails have in common, I'm gonna address right now. And that is, this is not gonna be a fun video. It's too warm to be funny. So, the topic at hand is Asperger's a bad thing? Because all of the emails I get, basically all of the emails, are from people who just have questions to make themselves feel more at ease with Asperger's, because they honestly seem to think that it's something bad. They're afraid of it. They don't really want the diagnosis, so they ask me, do I have Asperger's, because they kind of want to find out, like asking a doctor, am I sick or not? And I just wanted to point out right now that Asperger's is not a bad thing. You should not be afraid of who you are. I've said that in the past, but words are just words. People aren't gonna just go, oh, okay then. But I want to stress the fact that Asperger's doesn't make you bad, it doesn't give you bad traits, it doesn't make anything bad about you. You can be a bad person, of course you can. You might suck. I don't know if you suck. I've not met you. But that doesn't have anything to do with Asperger's. Like I said in a different video, not to reference myself all the time, people who have Asperger's that are bad people are usually worse than the normal people who are bad people. But that doesn't mean that Asperger's is a bad thing still. It's like an amplification kind of thing. I recently got an email from somebody who asked me a question that was kind of vague, that I really didn't know if he was asking for it or against it, but wherever. He was asking about Asperger's and social fears. And what I told him is, this is my own theory. I don't know if this is the case, but this is what I feel. You don't have social fears just because you have Asperger's. And you're not bad at social things just because you have Asperger's. Those are two symptoms that you might get because of the Asperger's, but not because of the Asperger's. What I mean with that is, I've spent my entire life I spent half my life getting bullied. Then when I started getting a hang of myself, I wasn't getting bullied anymore, but I've always been treated weird. To the point of people just coming up to me and telling me that I'm weird when I do something. That makes you afraid of people. When people treat you like that, your brain automatically tries to not be around other people or try to not act weird around other people. You try to conform yourself, because that's what all people do. Even people with Asperger's are kind of conformity-isting. And if you really feel deep down that you're somebody else and you want to be weird because that's who you are, then you're going to be afraid of being with people. You don't want to feel judged or misunderstood. You want to feel understood. Everybody wants to feel understood. So you get afraid. That's not really social fears because of the Asperger's. That's just having Asperger's and other people making you afraid of them. They made you afraid of them. So it's not your fault. And like I said, you're not necessarily bad at social things either. Because you can learn things. You can get good with social things. You can have conversations. And that just means that there's nothing really bad about Asperger's in that sense. Sure, it might be more difficult because you don't have those built-in reflexes that other people do. But it's not a bad thing. I will never ever call Asperger's a bad thing. If there was a cure for Asperger's, I don't know if I would take it. But if I would take it, it's not because I'm afraid or ashamed. It's simply because normal people seem to have it so much easier. Just running around, smelling the roses, that would be nice for once. But it would require me to not be myself. And that would suck even more, although those people who are not themselves, ergo normal people, they don't really know what they're missing, do they? No offense to normal people. I'm sure you're a nice normal person if you're watching this. Because you wouldn't be watching this if you weren't nice. So Asperger's, is it a bad thing? If you think Asperger's is a bad thing, then you really got to ask yourself, who and why is it a bad thing? Like, it's not your fault, and it's not Asperger's fault. It's society's fault for not being Aspies. If everybody was Aspies, then Asperger's would be perfectly normal. And that just nullifies the whole thing. That means that neither Asperger's or being normal is neither good nor bad. People are bad. Asperger's isn't. And if you're simply afraid of Asperger's making people think you're weird, and you prefer not having the Asperger's diagnosis, because then people won't think you're weird, then you just have to realize that unless you're a giant liar, you're acting weird because you do have Asperger's. And just embrace that fact, because the more you learn about Asperger's, the more you can control it and learn from it even more, and so on. You can make it a good thing. I think that's the bottom line. You can make Asperger's a good thing. If you can't make Asperger's a good thing, then that's your fault. And again, you are a bad person. Not to sound all mean and downtrodden, but if you're honestly sitting at home thinking that you're bad because of the Asperger's, then you have to realize that you can change that. You're not a friggin' emo. Never seen an emo Aspie before. So yeah, this has been a very, very tired, warm and slow video of me. Also quite bad lighting video of me. Because I kind of wanted to make that video because I had to rather answer a couple of mails today. All of them having that as in common. And having to tell everybody, it's okay, I understand you. No offense if you got that as an answer, because I don't say the same thing to everybody, but still, having to say similar things, having to cheer people up, it's kind of depressing me. And I want people to feel better about it. I'm trying to help people, that's why I'm making these videos. So, next time you see me and my fancy shirt, I'm gonna make a video about a different topic. And I'm gonna tell you then what it is, because I honestly don't know.